Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Instant Replay. I'm your host, Jason Banks with Team FYN Sports. Here at Team FYN Sports, if it's happening in North Georgia and it's sports related, we're all over it. What that means is we've got reporters covering all 10 counties of North Georgia, also in western North Carolina, covering Murphy over there at the Bulldogs. And we're getting out there, we're covering all the local sports and what's going on, and then we're going to bring those back to you guys right here on my show, Instant Replay. It's your week in sports, but I'm here to give you the instant replay. Last week, we took some time and we basically did a rundown of what was going on baseball-wise throughout the region with Murphy, Fannin, Union. Talked to Little Gilmer, and we had R.J. Casey talk to us from Pickens County. We're going to talk with R.J. again in a little while today so he can give us an update on some things going on down there, not only baseball related, but also some things going on with new turf that they've got going for their football field and some of their athletes that are going on to play at the next level. And as always, we'll wrap the show up with my segment of Let's Be Real. But to kick us off and get us started, let's talk a little bit about the Murphy Bulldogs and what's going on over there up north. You know, Murphy baseball, they've established quite a program. They've done really well the last few years, and this year's no different. Already this season under Coach Adam Klontz, they're 5-0, undefeated. They're our only undefeated baseball team that we cover right now, playing really great baseball, pitching well, great defense. And they're hitting the ball pretty well, too. The bats aren't eating up quite the way they did last season, but that I'm sure will change as they get further and further into region play. Got an exciting game coming up later this week. But first, let's talk about what they've done so far. You know, say this every week, but North Carolina starts their baseball season just a little bit later than we do here in Georgia. They've got other sports going on, and typically it's good for Murphy because their basketball program has a tendency to go pretty far into the postseason. Those athletes obviously have to transition from one sport to another. Another thing very common in Murphy, North Carolina, is a lot of their athletes, being a smaller school, play multiple sports. I'm a big encourager of a multi-sport athlete instead of specializing. I think that everybody needs to do what they enjoy the most. Obviously, play the sport that you love, but don't be afraid to branch out a little bit. Track athletes tend to play a little bit better football the following year. Also helps you stay in shape. Basketball season, and gets into the winter months. It's hard to do some conditioning when the weather is so unpredictable in our area. But these guys that play basketball get an opportunity to get indoors, get some good cardio in, and also work on hand and eye coordination as well as other things. So that may be one of the reasons why Murphy's got such a great school and such a competitive sports program or an athletic department. Now, they started their season off with a 7-2 win over Union. Union County, of course, the Panthers looking to have a great season, their final season here right now in 3A Georgia, or GHSA 3A Region 7. They're going down to 2A next year. We'll talk a little bit more about them in a few minutes, but they had a chance to face one of their future region opponents back down there in 2A, so we'll talk about that later. But after that win, Murphy went on. They had a huge win over Andrews, North Carolina, 23-4. And I would say that if you live in Andrews, you probably wish that you could relocate to Murphy because that's not an uncommon thing. Hiwassee Dam, kind of same thing. I mean, 7-0 skunk there over Hiwassee Dam. Then they won a close game to Franklin, 4-2. And then just recently this week, we're filming a week in advance of you viewing our show. On Monday, they actually beat Robbinsville 5-1. But that, those are great wins for the program. But we know that they're really probably wishing that they were having bigger wins. A win is a win. John Harris with Fannin said just a couple of weeks ago, the way you win in baseball is you score more runs than they do, and that's true. But whenever you're getting into the postseason or later into region play or conference play, you want to make sure that you have everybody where they need to be, and your batters are connecting with the ball in the right way and doing what's best for the team. So congratulations to them for being undefeated right now. But Friday this week, we'll tell you about it next week, but Friday this week, they're headed down the road. They're going to play Rossman, who's 4-0. They're also undefeated under Coach Scotty Ruff. And there's a rivalry there, especially in baseball, between these two teams, these programs. Give you an idea how good Rossman is. I believe they're the Tigers. I didn't look that up. We don't cover them here really, but 21-1 win over Swain County. That's a pretty big win. Obviously, 11-0 over Hayesville, 22-0 over Hiwassee Dam. We just mentioned that that Murphy beat Hiwassee Dam 7-0. So 22-0. That's, man, these guys can hit the ball, can't they? And 14-3 over Andrews. So they've given up 4 runs so far in 4 games. I'd say that they're playing pretty good and pitching the ball pretty well too. So it will be interesting and exciting to see what the Murphy Bulldogs do whenever they travel down the road and take on Rossman. And that is a region game for them. So it's an important one. And then Monday, they're going to hit the road to Hayesville. Hayesville, of course, we mentioned, lost to Rossman 11-0. So Hayesville, not 100% sure how, is that one game an indicator of how good or bad they are, or is it an indicator of how they're going to play against Murphy? Of course not. But it does give us an idea of something to look at later down the line when we're comparing teams that are leading in the region and common opponents. Because basically these teams, they all tend to play each other. One final thought on Murphy right now. I had a chance to really take a look at their roster. 10 seniors on this team, and I believe it's a roster of like 15 or 16 players. So 10 seniors. This is a big season for them. These guys, they were runners-up at state last year. They had a chance to win state, or at least to force a third game. It didn't happen. The cards didn't fall the way they wanted them to. But state runner-up, that's still something to be very proud of. And 5-0 right now, these seniors are coming together and they're giving it their all. And one freshman on the team. But a few of those seniors I want to mention. Joey Curry is a shortstop. He also pitches some. Luke Garrett is outfield. He also pitches. And Chase Roberts, first baseman, and also a great pitcher. So Curry, Garrett, and Roberts, these are some really good athletes. If you get a chance to catch some Murphy baseball, these are guys you're going to want to watch out for. And as I get a chance to go to see these guys play, I'm definitely going to be pulling them aside, and you'll see some future interviews with these players on our show. Let's hop over to Gilmer for a minute. Just jumping around, but Gilmer Bobcats, plan was to have Luther Kinsey come on the show to talk a little bit about them, and we're looking forward to him doing that in the future. Luther's our reporter here at Team FYN Sports that covers Gilmer. He also helps out with Dawson. And when I spoke with Luther this morning, what he shared with me that really stood out to him about Gilmer was that these guys are really still fighting the good fight. They're 2-12, and if you looked at their record, a lot of people would tend to hang their head or shake their head or question, criticize coaching or the right players in the right places, and it's really not that. According to Luther, he's at these games, standing behind the fence, taking video pictures, interviewing these guys. They're playing good baseball, and then when it gets into these later innings, I don't know if it's fatigue or just nerves, but unfortunately they're losing in the final innings or in the extra innings of these games. So they've had several games where they had a chance to win. We saw it with Union County earlier in the season. They had one big 15-0 skunk over Murray County, which is great. So I'm sure they enjoyed beating the Indians. But when you're looking at Region 6 Quad A, those close, tough games that get into those extra innings, you just can't afford to load the bases up and then peg the batter with the ball in the back and start giving runs up by hitting batters and wild pitches, causing errors and or hits and missing a catch at your base that you're tagging the runner at. You just can't afford to have those mistakes in a region as good as Region 6 Quad A, where you got Pickens, Ridgeland, Northwest Whitfield, etc. These are really good baseball programs. They're not just teams; they're programs, really good athletic programs. So we see a lot of these athletes that go on to play at the next level and go to play college football, baseball, and basketball. And wrestle. So hats off to Gilmer for keeping their momentum going forward. Right, they're trying hard, they're playing hard, they've got good attitudes. Strongly believe that record is going to improve before this season is over. Haven't taken a look at their roster to see how many seniors they've got on the team, but one would guess they're probably a little bit younger out of the teams that we cover. And we're pulling for the Bobcats to do some great things as the season continues. We're going to take just a few moments here. I want to visit our sponsors. I want to show you our sponsors. We're going to cut to a commercial break for just a moment, so that you get an opportunity to hopefully see some things that you're interested in checking out. Without these sponsors, we wouldn't be able to do this show, so we're so thankful for them. We want to thank you for staying with us, and we'll be right back after these few moments.
The Tupelo Tea Mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart.
It's just this simple. Nobody beats Days on price. If it's a Chevy, you'll pay less at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Now save $4,000 off a new 2018 Chevy Malibu, or save up to $10,000 off a new 2018 Silverado Crew Cab. It doesn't matter which Chevy you choose. Nobody beats Days on price. $10,000 off Silverados and $4,000 off Malibus at Days Chevy in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Hey folks, welcome back. Thanks for being patient, and also thank you for checking out our sponsors. Without our sponsors, this show wouldn't be possible. We wouldn't be able to get the most up-to-date current news out to you. Keep in mind, this is North Georgia's only online recap of what's going on in all these counties and what's going on in high school sports in our area. So again, please check our sponsors out so we can keep this show going. And if you're interested in sponsoring the show, please contact us. You can email me, jason@fetchernews.com. Please, or visit our website, send us an email. Just let us know if you're interested, and we'll send someone out to meet with you and talk to you. Also, just a reminder, if you're not already doing so, you need to look us up on Facebook. Facebook.com/Team FYN Sports, or you can just search Team FYN Sports. Be sure to like and follow our Facebook page, because everything streams through our Facebook, all right? We're out there on Twitter and tweeting from the sidelines. So at Team FYN Sports on Twitter, please be sure to follow us on Twitter as well. And Instagram. Our Instagram account is small, but it's growing. And we get some pretty cool stuff that we put together and throw out there on Instagram. So check that out as well. Also at Team FYN Sports. So joining me now on the phone, we got RJ Casey, my brother from another mother down in Pickens County. He's the king of Region 6 Quad A. He knows everything baseball. He could probably tell you everything you want to know about what's going on with the Braves, even things the Braves don't even know is going on within their bullpen yet. But RJ's with us. How you doing today, RJ?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Man, I'm very thankful to be alive. Another day, right? Glad to have you on the show with us. It's really hard to be everywhere all the time, and that's one thing that's great about Team FYN Sports. We literally have a team, and I believe RJ is probably the veteran on this team. He's been out there on the front lines, or literally on the sidelines, longer than anybody. RJ, let's talk about some Pickens Dragons baseball in Region 6 over there. What can you tell us? What's new since the last week? What's new with Pickens baseball?
Well, they started a region. They hosted Gilmer last week on Tuesday and on Friday. Tuesday they had to come back a couple of times to beat the pesky Bobcat team at 7-5, and then they went on last Thursday, and that one was a more decisive victory for the Dragons there. They won that one 11-4, and then went right back to Jasper last Friday to have the third of the 3-game series, and that one was an instant classic because 2-1 for most of the game. Joseph Gossett, who we talked about the last time I was on, he's a college signee going to Southern Union.
Yeah.
It is first, I believe it's his first home run of his high school career. And then Gilmer took the lead in the top of the 7th. Some controversy happened in the top of the 7th. We could get into that if you want, but it's
yeah. Hey, you know what? We might as well. We don't talk about it in our articles. We're always highlighting athletes in a positive way here at Team FYN Sports and Fetcher News. But just share the controversy with us. What happened there in the 7th?
Well, it's hard. It's kind of hard to explain. It was easier to see if you were there, but there's one out in the top of the 7th. Dragons are still up 2-1. The batter was up for the Bobcats. He hits it in foul territory towards the Gilmer dugout at the first base line. First baseman for Pickens is tracking it, trying to grab it. The first base coach for Gilmer makes little to no effort of getting out of his way. They end up bumping into each other, and the first baseman couldn't track the ball in time, and it fell. A veteran of the chance, there was argument for interference, which it would clearly looked like it was. No call was made, and Gilmer ended up taking in the top of the 7th, 3-2, and then Joseph Gossett comes up, hits a solo shot, his second of the ball game, to tie it up at 3. Ended up going to the 9 innings, and keep in mind they only played 7 in high school.
Right.
With 9 innings, Gilmer took the lead in the top of the 9th, 4-3. Pickens came back, scored 2, bottom of the 9th. Their last run that they scored, Caswell Smith came up, hit a fly ball right at the warning track to center field. The center fielder for Gilmer had it in his glove, and then it fell out of his glove, and then that's how Pickens won the ball game.
Yeah, it's tough. I was talking just a little while ago. I talked about Gilmer before we called you, and it's a shame. Luther was telling me that Gilmer's playing good baseball, and this is a perfect example. Great baseball. When you get in these extra innings, you can't afford to make a mistake, and it's a shame, that happened to that kid. But at the end of the day, it sounds like, Pickens probably may have deserved to win with like you mentioned, the interference call that didn't happen. Either way, it's always fun to watch those two teams play, is it not?
Oh yeah, especially in any sport, really. You're going to have some exciting moments happen, whether it's on the football field, on the baseball field, on the basketball court, wherever.
Yeah, good history, rivalry there, good long-time rivalry. You mentioned a couple of players that are standouts. Is there anyone else that you didn't mention that right there that you want to make sure get some recognition today?
You mentioned Colby James. He pitched very well against Gilmer. Dylan Huffman is a starting second baseman. He's a senior as well. He pitched the second game of the 3-game set against Gilmer in LJ in pretty much frigid temperatures, and it didn't affect him too much. He went about 5 or 6 innings. Had 7 strikeouts, gave up 1 run. That run was not earned, so he pitched pretty well.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And they did. They faced two today and beat Woodland 7-4. So they swept that season series. Woodland's a 5A school.
Yeah.
And now they're 8-4 on the year, 3-0 in region still, and still out of region the rest of this week, and then get back in the region next week.
Outstanding. While I got you on the phone, it's funny. I was out of commission earlier this week, and yet you and I got an opportunity to text a little bit about some things going on there around Pickens County, not only baseball related, but the football program probably pretty excited, right? Have you had a chance to see the new turf that's going in over there?
I saw pictures of the company that is putting together the turf, and they're going to get started there pretty quick. I think they've been starting this week, actually, if not next week. They want to get that done here pretty soon. There's a bunch of new things going on at the high school. I know many people may not know that the baseball team plays their games at Pickens County Middle School.
Right.
They don't play their games at the high school. And with the new field, there's new turf coming in. There's new lights for the football. There's going to be a new baseball field going in as well at the high school. It is going to occupy where the football practice field was, and that's where the new baseball field will be.
Outstanding. That's awesome. It's exciting things. So there's some new things coming in. Sounds like Chris Parker, athletic director down there at Pickens County, making some pretty good moves with the administration, and we're real excited to get a chance to see and hear more about some of the new things that they're putting in down there. What last thing while I got you on the phone, RJ, I'm going to be talking a little while about playing sports at the next level whenever we get to my Let's Be Real segment, but for the sake of time, just real quick, can you name a few of the kids there that are going on to play some college ball, whether it's football, baseball, or whatever?
For football, we've got several young kids. This team that's going to be coming up next year is going to be really, really young. A lot of the linemen that are on the offensive and defensive line are going to be sophomores, and if not juniors. And so they're going to be really young. So, at the wide receiver position, junior Zach Goss, who's already set school records last year after a tremendous sophomore season. He has 2 offers already from Moore State and from Tennessee Tech, who we just got an offer from last week.
Exciting.
You'll have several offers from some linemen we got some big old boys down here in Pickens, and that hasn't been the and it's finally starting to cycle back around. Olivia Moore is signed to I believe, track at Georgia Tech. So that's a
D1.
It's a pretty big accomplishment for her.
That's huge. I'll tell you what, RJ, we got to cut to a commercial break real quick. I want to thank you for coming on the show. We'll definitely be doing this again. I really enjoy your input and your feedback on what's going on down in Pickens. And we'll be right back after a few messages from our sponsors.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Jason Banks here, Team FYN Sports. You're watching Instant Replay, North Georgia's only weekly recap show where we're recapping all the local sports in North Georgia and also Murphy, North Carolina. We had a chance to talk to RJ. Really glad that he came on the show to talk about Pickens. Real briefly, I want to touch on Fannin County baseball as well, the Rebels. Probably one of my favorite teams to watch play baseball. Just a lot of charisma and attitude, like enthusiasm in that team, and it's contagious. And they're just funny. You know, I hate to say that, but if you go to a baseball game, the guys in the dugout, their quirks and chants and stuff that they do, it's fun to go watch a team that has fun playing baseball and being competitive through the whole game. And they've got class. But they've also got some swagger to them, and that's what makes going to a Fannin baseball game so much fun for me personally. Earlier this week, I didn't get a chance to watch Fannin play Dawson. I was in the hospital, but BKP gave me a call to catch me up on what I missed, and also Reagan Young, our outstanding all-star reporter for Fannin County, he shot me a few text messages and gave me a call as well, so thank you to both of them for keeping me in the loop. But is there a rivalry brewing between Fannin and Dawson? There must be, because as far as baseball goes, these two teams, they're not friends, right? And they got to exchange pleasantries a few times in the last week. Fortunately, that's over with. Fannin gets to move on within Region 7 3A, and Dawson as well. First time these two teams met, Fannin pulls off a 7-6 win, basically with some great play at the end of the game there. Great play throughout the whole game, but really, realistically, it was coaching that made the difference in that game, according to BKP. And what can you say? I mean, I'm a big fan of John Ayers and that whole program. And Cliff Shira, very involved with that program. You know, his son, Will Shira, playing ball at Georgia Tech now, and his other son, Matthew, first baseman and pitcher for the Rebels. So, kudos to Fannin for that win. Then Dawson and Fannin met for a doubleheader later in the week. Dawson pulls off a 9-4 win. Dawson being one of the bigger schools in Region 7, Fannin the very smallest school, Region 7 AAA. Well, I say that Union County technically like 12 students, 15 students smaller, but they're going down to AA. So next year, they will be the smallest in Region 7 3A unless something crazy happens. But Fannin came back in the second game of that doubleheader. Had, I believe, the fourth inning, they scored like 7 runs. It was close early on, but Fannin ran away with it. It was 16-12 final. Just lots of hot bats. Big Miles Johnson, when he steps up into the batter's box, I think pitchers might want to start thinking about just throwing the ball outside and walking the guy, because he can hit a baseball. And he's not the only one. I mean, the whole team is really good. That's all I want to talk about on Fannin. I got to really roll into Let's Be Real because I'm running short on time. Real excited to talk to you guys about my Let's Be Real segment this week, where really we talk each week about what we don't talk about, right? Let's Be Real is really an opportunity for me to stop holding my tongue or, stop covering my mouth. It's not, I won't say uncensored, but for the most part, we're just letting it all hang out, okay? And this week I want to talk about playing sports at the next level. And you may be one of those parents that raise your kid from with a football or a basketball in their hand or a baseball glove on their hand from as early as 2 years old, and walk them through youth sports and coach their little league teams, and sit on the front row, the first row of the bleachers at every football or basketball game or baseball game throughout their entire middle school and high school career. And guess what? Let's be real. Your kid probably isn't good enough to be a college athlete. And that's okay. Reality is that only 2% of high school athletes go on to receive a college scholarship, which means you got a lot of kids trying to walk on when they go to play college ball. And that's not a bad thing. Hey, I'm an Oklahoma Sooner fan. Baker Mayfield walked on at Texas Tech, and then he walked on at Oklahoma. And then he won the Heisman, right? Going to be one of the top, most likely, quarterbacks to go in the draft, possibly in the top 4. So that being said, it doesn't mean that you can't be great. It just means that it's not likely, right? So what do you do to become great? Well, it takes extra work. And what we see with these parents that mold their children and push them, there are some that really truly go above and beyond. Shout out to the Shiras, right? Will Shira, if you look at that guy's resume, I don't know how on earth he had time to sleep. He did so much, not only with his training in camps and extra batting practice and extra work with outside coaches. His academics were off the charts, and then he did all kinds of things within the community and in his church. I mean, it's the next Tim Tebow. He's the baseball team Tim Tebow. He's at Georgia Tech. He'll probably do really well there, probably. But here's another statistic for you. 33% of college athletes quit after their first year. And why? Because it's hard. It's really hard. And how do I know? Because I was one. And believe it or not, this 340-pound man in front of you used to be 115 pounds. I ran college cross country. I lost 4 races my senior season of high school. I ran a 15-19 5K, and after I did, I got letters from Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Texas A&M, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, and West Texas A&M University. The only one that was going to offer me a scholarship that literally paid for something, right? So the average college scholarship is only about $1,100 or $11,000, and when you're paying for college, you start looking at tuition, room and board. It's a pretty expensive process. And why these kids quit is because it's hard. And I can tell you, whenever I got to college, running college cross country, our very first day we ran 10 miles. I'd never run 10 miles before in my whole life. Second month of practice, we did a marathon, like an actual marathon. Like, who does that? And out of an 8-man team, I was the slowest, and that's common. I had a chance to speak with Mark Waddell from here in Gilmer County. His son Matthew, a wrestler at Oklahoma. He's a really great wrestler. One of the greatest wrestlers in Gilmer High School history, amazingly, right? And one of the best programs, wrestling programs in the state. And here we got this kid who went to Oklahoma, and and this is coming from his father. He says, "Yeah, Dad, I decided I'm not on a wrestling team. I'm on the track team because they run so much." right? And practice is so long and so hard. And when you have a scholarship, especially at D1 level, you can't get a job. You don't have a social life, right? All you do is work. And the harder you work, the better your chances of getting playing time or getting to actually compete. And then the better you get competing, the better your chances of actually getting to play a lot more, right? And then who knows, maybe you'll be that 1 in a million, and that's not a specific statistic. I'm using the figure liberally here. You might be that kid that goes pro, right? But most likely, your kid is not that kid. I mean, let's be real. Are they going to do that extra work? Might be your dream, and you might have molded them from, like I said, from birth until they're grown. But it's very low statistic, 2%. It's 2 out of 100 athletes. So that's not a bad thing, though. I mean, I feel like a lot of parents put unnecessary pressure on their kids, and then I feel like a lot of parents don't put enough pressure on their kids, and so it's almost lose-lose. I feel like being encouraging to your kids is something important to do. I feel like if you are that student athlete that wants to play at the college level, you need to do the things that it takes to get there. You got to do what the other people won't do. Luther Kinsey, who works with us here, he's a GHSA official. He has strong relationships with college scouts. BKP also strong relationships with college scouts. I've spoken with a few college scouts myself. What they're looking for is the work, that work ethic. If you're interested in going to the next level, if you're a parent that wants your kid to make it to the next level, I encourage you to contact us at Team FYN Sports. Give us a chance to sit down with your kid. Who knows, we might be able to put them in touch with the right people. But if nothing else, I wouldn't mind sharing some ideas with you as far as what it takes to do more than just show up, go to class, go to a workout, go home and play PlayStation. So that's it for Instant Replay this week. Thanks for letting me rant for a few minutes. Again, it's just my opinion. I mean, I'm not an expert. I just work here. Check us out next week, Wednesdays at noon. Team FYN Sports Facebook will be live streaming, talking to you some more about some more things going on in baseball. And who knows, I might come up with something else to say that aggravates you a little. Have a great week.